stopped, I feel. So that section of the Bhagavatam where Mother Draupadi is talking about how to take care of the husband, that is there in Mahabharata, as well as Rukmini is also asking the question how to serve the husband nicely, and Draupadi is answering the questions. And that is the very important section for the all the disciples, all the people, those who would like to serve the Lord, because it is not only the matter of like the wife is serving husband, but it is a matter of how a prakriti or the jivas are serving the supreme. There in that section, Draupadi writes that I get up before the my master gets up. I sleep after my master sleeps. I always think of how my husband will be liking, and that way I wear my dress. So it is all the things we can relate in the terms of Krishna consciousness. We should get up before the Lord gets up. We should sleep generally after making the Lord to rest. And we should, throughout the day, we should always think about how can I serve the Lord best. What I wear, so what I think, what I speak, what I cook, whatever the activities I am doing, that should be Krishna-centric activities. So that way, the relationships where the tolerance is mentioned, but the tolerance is somewhat, we can say it is towards the negative side. I am tolerating him. But whenever the love is there, it is in positive side. The tolerance is like the bare minimum. Whatever we are just doing, I am just tolerating. The people always say, I am just tolerating his behavior. Means that you are not liking him, but somehow or other the relationship you are just pulling out. But it is like the positively build up relationships always last long. Please continue.
Arjuna is falling to the ground at this point. He is in the mood of a son, a wife, and a friend. All these different rasas is in dealing with Krishna. Arjuna fearfully requests Krishna to again reveal his two-armed form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So now this is another section where Arjuna is requesting Krishna to show his two-arm forms. There's now this is a Vishwaroop. I don't want to see that. And a reverential form I am just experiencing. Better you can show me the Shama Sundar Rupa. Text 45. Adrishta Purvam Risitosmi Drishtva.
Adrishta Purvam Hrititosmi Drishtva.
Ena cha pravyathitam mano me.
Bhavena cha pravyavitam mano me.
Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam.
Tadeva me darshaya deva rupam.
Prasida devesha jagannivasa.
Prasida devesha jagannivasa. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O Adobe of the universe. Translation. Continuing. Arjuna is glad and fearful at the same time. The example given to show how this is possible. When one may see a snake whose fangs are already removed, he may feel fear because of the seeing a snake, but glad also because its fangs have been removed. So both sentiments are possible simultaneously. Arjuna's curiosity by this time, after seeing the universal form, has been satisfied, and he wants Krishna to close up take away of close up his universal form and show again his beautiful form as Krishna. Hare Krishna.
That means that the universal form, one cannot always hold it. It is very difficult to hold a universal form. How many mouths were there? How many ghastly features were there? It is having the Rodra, it is having some Karunaka, it was having some fear also. So everything was there in that form. And such a form, one cannot hold it for a long time. This is like Vishwaroop cannot be held. It can just mesmerized. But a Shama Sundar form, one can hold it always in his heart. So that's why the devotees are always longing to have the Shama Sundar form, not a Vishwarupa form. Because a Vishwarupa form, what we will be doing? How beautiful the Radha Vrindavan Chandra Darshan, how beautiful the Radha Madan Mohan Darshan is there. Every day we go and visit and take the darshan and take a photograph, always carry in our pockets, and says are so beautiful, charming form. In our dream, if we get the fearful form of the Vishwarup, how uh, how we will be experiencing that. But always we would like to have a charming form of the Lord Radha Vrindavan Chandra in our heart. We would like to have that. Because and how we can dress or how we can serve the Vishwarupa. If you would like to dress the Vishwarupa, where you will be wearing this dress. This is like one of the 5 angas of the devotional life is worshipping the deities. This Mathura Vas, then chanting the holy name. Okay, we can do a chanting of the holy name of the Vishwarupa. Okay, we can hear about him in a Srimad Bhagavatam. But where we can go to his abode, Dham Yatra, Vishwarup Dham Yatra, where? There is no such place. So that's why this 5 out of these 5 angas, the 2 angas are very important, where the people feel to go always to the Vrindavan Dham, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, where they would like to take the blessings of the Lord. And another anga of this 5, the main angas where Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami says that is worshipping the deities. How we can make the deities of Vishwarupa? Because he is everywhere. His heads are unlimited heads. Strengths are unlimited. And how we can offer the bhoga? How we can engage ourselves in the service of the Vishwarupa? Very difficult. So that's why the Shama Sundar Rupa, where the Krishna is so beautiful, we can always get mesmerized by his charming look and smile. Some devotees says that the Juhu ISKCON temple where we see the Radha Ras Bihari temple, we see the Radha Ras Bihari ji. In 1970s, the Radha Ras Bihari were looking very different. Now they are looking very, very much beautiful, and they are having somewhat good health, good, strong health. If you see the photographs of Radha Ras Bihari in 1970s and now, it is completely different things you can see. And sometimes the deities, their sizes also increases. In our Kunja Bihari olden days, where we were staying in a camp temple in Pune, the Kunja Bihari Dev, that Kunja Bihari, what I saw first time, it was very thin. Now it was somewhat gained some weight or something like that. So it is not only the eyes has changed to see, but it is like the Lord also manifests his beauty. He enhances his beauty to attract the devotees. So that is required. So the reciprocation between the devotees and 200 form is more intimate than the Vishwarupa. Kirtinam Gadinam Chakrahastam Ichhami Tvam Drashtamaham Tathaiva Teneva Rupena Chaturbhujena Sahasrabaho Bhavam Vishwamurte. Translation.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Arjuna requests the Lord to show his 400 form because he is disturbed by the fear by seeing the universal form. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to verse 46. In the Brahma Samhita 5.39, it is stated, Ramadi
Murti Shukla Niyamena Tishtha.
The Lord is eternally situated in the hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. Hare Krishna.
So here, why Arjuna wanted to see the 400 form. Now the section was what? Requesting for the 200 form. We can see this is like the previous one. Arjuna fearfully requests Krishna to again reveal his 200 form as the supreme personality of God. And then the translation, after seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as a personality of God, O Lord of Lords, abode of the universe. Now here, that now he is specifying that at least show me the 400 form. Now it is like the 1,000 form. I cannot hold in a long time. So at least not 200 form, but at least 400 form. So here we can see the bargaining. Oh Krishna, I don't want to see that 1,000-arm form. At least 400 form you can show, not 200 form. 2-arm form, then afterwards, eventually you can show us. Verses 47 to 55, only pure devotees can see Krishna's 2-arm form, arms supreme form. Krishna withdraws his universal form, 47-48. He then shows Arjuna his 4-arm form, 49-50, and finally his 2-arm form, 50-51. So text 47. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan
Uvacha.
Maya prasannena tavarjunedam.
Maya prasannena tavarjunedam.
Rupam param daristam atma yoga.
Rupam param darshitam atma yoga.
Tejo mayam vishwam ananta dadyam.
Tejo mayam vishwam anantamadhyam.
Yanme tvad annena drishta purvam.
Yanme tvadannena drishta purvam. Okay. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Somebody else can do this.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you have ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence."
Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily I have seen you by internal potency, the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before us." Okay. Text 48. Na veda yajna dhyananair daner.
न वेद
न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रे.
न च
क्रियाभिर्न
तपोभिरुग्रैः
एवं रूपः सक्य अहं न लोके.
एवं रूपसख्य अहं न लोके
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर.
द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर.
Translation.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world.
So how we can say that, oh best of the Kurus, warriors, no one before you have ever seen this universal form of mine? He had shown, na? He showed to Duryodhan, he showed to Mata Yashoda. How Krishna is saying like this? He is saying in general that nobody can see this form. Out of my mercy, I showed it to them, and out of mercy, I am showing it to you also. And this my form, which I showed it to you, it was something special form with the Kala Rupa. So that's why nobody else saw it. Even though the universal form was been shown to 2-3 personalities as per our knowledge, but it was a special form, so that's why it is no one else he is mentioning. Yeah, please go on reading.
Commentary. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of a pseudo-incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form. But that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So, one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he has shown the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. Arjuna is saying, "My dear Lord, I accept what I saw and I don't want to see the universal form any longer, but you are again and again telling me to see it." Krishna keeps saying, "Behold this universal form," and he is glorifying that universal form. "My limbs are pained and disturbed, and I am becoming unconscious. I will never request you to show me this universal form again. Please forgive me. I wish to see that beautiful form from which the nectar comes. Note from the commentators. Krishna says that no one before Arjuna has ever seen the universal form. This form cannot be seen by Vedic study, sacrifices, charity, pious activities, or severe penances. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to verse 48. So, one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord.
So who are unable to see the universal form, the impersonalists. Even though the impersonalists, some extent, they are transcendentalists. What we are talking, it is not the Mayavadis, but the Brahmavadis, but they are also incapable to see this universal form. Text 49. Matte vyatham cha vimudha bhavo
Mate vyatma cha vimudha bhavo
Drishtva rupam ghoram idram namamedam
Drishtva rupam ghoram idran mamedam
Vyapeta bhi prita manah punastvam
Vyapeta pritamana punastvam
Taddeva me rupamidam prapasya.
Tadeva me rupamidam prapasya.
Translation.
You may have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Commentary. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer respectful, worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form, so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So at least with the Vishnu or the Narayana form, we are having the awe and reverence. Where we go to the South Indian temples, there is a 400 Vishnu's form is there. So there what we do, the Lord Balaji itself is having the 400 form. So we offer the respect and we are serving him. And the 200 form, the Lord Ram and Krishna and many others, there we are having more intimacy. So the reciprocation is increasing. With the hands decreasing, the reciprocation increases. Text 50. Sanjay Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Iti Arjunam Vasudevas tathoktva
Iti Arjunam Vasudevas tathoktva
Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asabhuya
Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asabhuya
Asvasayam Asacha Bhitamenam
Asvasayam Asacha Bhitamenam
Bhutva Puna Somya Vapur Mahatma.
Bhutva Puna Saumya Vapur Mahatma.
Translation.
Hare Krishna, does anyone else want to continue?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please go on.
Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having thus to Arjuna displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Here, commentary, here is said, Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asa Bhuyaha. Bhuyaha means again. This means that Krishna had probably shown already in the universal form his four-armed form. Then Krishna shown up that beautiful form, Saumya Vapur. Saumya means pleasing like the moon. To pacify Arjuna, Krishna displays his real four-armed form and then his two-armed form. By seeing Krishna's beautiful form, Arjuna becomes composed in mind and is restored to his original nature. Krishna confirms that his personal two-armed form is most difficult to see. It is the most confidential form of Krishna. Krishna concludes that only by undivided devotional service he can be seen as he is. Hare Krishna. Text 51.
Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam
Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam
Tava Somyam Janardana
Tava Saumyam Janardana
Idanim Asmi Samvrutta
Idanim Asmi Samvrutta
Sacheta Prakritim Gata.
Sacheta Prakritim Gata.
So here the the meter is changing. The previous meter was Shardul Vikridita, where the Gita is having this two chandas majoritarily. The Gita can be sung in Anushtuba chanda, where the Anushtuba is 8. After 8, we are stopping. Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam. This is like it is 8 aksharas are there. And Anushtuba Chandra, that is called Anushtuba Chanda. And Shardula Vikriditam is like the what we can say it is the peacock is going the same way. In that style, the meter is going. So this is like the 15.15, the famous shloka. That is a Shardula Vikridita shloka. And this all the remaining, like whatever the 10th and 11th chapter are mostly the Shardula Vikridita, and the rest of the Gita is Anushtuba Chanda only. Translation.
When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and am restored to my original nature." Krishna's two-armed form can be directly seen only through pure undivided devotional service. 11.52 to 55.
So what the form he saw till 51, 50, 49, 50, 51, he was requesting the 400 form, then he saw the 400 form. Now the 52 onwards, he is just requesting again, I feel. No, the Lord himself is showing the 200 form and qualification for that. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Shri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan Vacha
Sudursha Sud Sud
Durdarshan.
sorry Sudurdasham Idam Rupam
Sudarsham Idam Rupam
Krishna Nasiyan Mama
Drishtvan Asiyan Mama
Devapi Asya Rupasya
Devapiyasya Rupasya
Nityam Darshana Kankshana.
Nityam Darshana Kamshina.
Please go on, ready?
Translation. Translation 50. When no translation I can't see, sir, here. 50.
Translation you are not able to see. Rest others are seeing that.
The supreme,
No, Prabhuji, not visible. Not visible. Only transliteration is there.
Sorry,
only
Translation is
translation
not
word is
visible?
there. That's all. Translation is not there. Shall I
okay.
read from the book?
I will read that. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "Oh, Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in my mind, and I am restored to my original nature." 2. Krishna's two form can be directly seen only through the pure, undivided devotional service. I feel no, sorry. The same one is there. Okay. This translation. Sorry, I read the 51 translation only. Translation, I forgot to make it here. Somebody can read it from the book.
Shall I read from the book?
Yes, Mataji.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear." Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
53.
and you can read this text actually 53 and their translation also, since I have not mentioned it here.
53 purport you want? Shall I read?
No, the shloka, if you can just try to sing it, and then the translation.
Yeah. Naham vedairna tapasana danena na chejya shakya evam vidho drishtam drishtavanasi mam yatha. 50. Translation. 53 I read it now, sir. Prabhuji.
No, I feel you read 52nd translation.
Okay. 53 translation. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am.
So what are the qualifications that Krishna is mentioning about to see his form? Whether we are qualified to see that then. Now, how then we are seeing the form? 200 form of Krishna we are seeing. Are we seeing or not? Are we seeing the 200 form of Lord or not? Any answer?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
But Prabhuji, as neophyte devotees, we cannot see, Prabhuji. But as neophyte devotees, we are not able to.
Oh, Anandram Narsingh Prabhu is speaking.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Are we seeing the form or not? 200 form. Huh?
see.
Deities, what we are seeing is the two-hand form with the flute. So
In the
we
deity
Sorry?
form,
in the deities, what is being worshipped in Mayapur or in general, we see the two-hand form and we imagine definitely that is the Lord. But beyond that,
Imagine.
yeah.
Ah, oh my God. Imagine. This word is somewhat hurting. Any other try? Our friends are there. Pandurang Sharan Prabhu, Atul Govind Prabhu. Are they?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, please give your
Hare
darshan.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, we are able to see you.
Yeah. Prabhuji,
So,
actually, I'm
whether
in.
whether you
What I
are
was.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Prabhuji, in my opinion, we are in a gross body, so we can only see the gross thing because we are not, at least in neophyte stage, we are
Prabhu,
not reached to the subtle thing.
I am
So
having a simple question. Are we seeing the 200 form of the Lord or not?
yes,
Yes,
that's why Lord
Prabhuji.
has
Yes,
by
we
His
are.
mercy, He took the form in the stone, and that we can able to see that Lord's form.
Oh. So we are seeing. Pandurang Sharan
Yes.
Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
We are seeing the form.
Actually,
The
we are
Radha
seeing the
Damodar.
transcendental, not the material form, but the transcendental form of the Lord. Which is
The
described
Lord's
in the
form is
Shastras.
always the transcendental. The Lord's form is always transcendental.
Your questions are also transcendental. Key questions.
And the answers are also transcendental. So the thing is that everything is transcendental. But the thing, I am just asking that how we are then, the Krishna is mentioning about that, what all the qualifications are required to see my 200 form. And we are getting this 200 form and we are worshipping them. How many of you are having the deities at home? Majority?
I have Prabhuji.
In a Hyderabad congregation, in a Gachibowli congregation, how many approximately they are having the deities at the home? Somebody would like to give answer? Anuradha Priya Mataji or Lilananda Prabhu, or how many approximately may be having the deities at the home?
I think many of us have a Gaurnitai, Prabhuji.
Yeah, they are also deities, na?
Yeah. Not Radha Krishna.
Oh, this is a Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaurachandra.
Yes,
Nobody is merciful as the Gaurnita is.
correct.
We are not singing for the sake of singing, but they are the most merciful, and we can see and experience also. The Radha Krishnas, their standards may be high, but the Gaurnitas are out of mercy. They are appearing, they are dancing in the homes of the devotees. So how many devotees are having the dancing the lords, dancing deities?
Close to 15 around. So I wanted to announce here, and I wanted to share wonderful news that this Sunday we are welcoming our Gaurnitai into our homes with the presence of His Grace Radhesham Prabhuji. So please send some prayers.
Sri Viraj Prabhu, I am missing there.
Hare Krishna.
I'm missing that. Okay.
Always welcome, Prabhu. We come anytime.
Hare Krishna. But now this question arises, then the Krishna is saying that there is some qualification is required to see the two-handed form of mine. And Jai Gaur, say Krishna, say Jagannath, as we say, as we sing in this song, Jai Gaur, say Krishna, say Jagannath, means the Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna and Jagannath are non-different, and they are there in the form of deity. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. It is not imagination, sorry. I just spoke that it is hurting the word, but the thing is like the scripture says that, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that, Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. When the deities are, we are saying this, these are the not only a stone, these are not only vigrahas, they are not, we are not calling them as a murtis. So that's why the outside world, they are calling them as a murtis, and the murtis means it is stone. But for a devotee, he has to see that these are the personalities, they are standing there. And how we are seeing every day the darshan of Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Radha Damodar, or Radha Madan Mohan, or the personalized deity in everyone's home, and dressing them, offering the food. How we are fortunate then. What qualification we are having then to see that, to worship that? Any answer?
Devotional service, love towards this.
So do we have the love? At least I am not having. But do we have that?
Bhakti or something like that.
Huh?
We have association, Prabhu.
Association of?
We
Association
have
of
mercy
devotees
of
and
Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas Prabhuji.
Who is answering this? Very good answer.
Me Prabhuji, Survi. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, you are rightly going and answering this. That Prabhupada once told to his disciples that you are not having the qualification to serve the Radha Krishna, but I made your qualification. I am making the qualifications of my disciples. So it is not by our devotion, it is not by our effort, it is the Acharya's mercy, Prabhupada's mercy, that we are able to serve them. And once Prabhupada went to Australia, and in Sydney, he saw that the deities were installed, and that much care was not been taken. Then Prabhupada prayed while going back in the plane. He was praying that, oh Radha Krishna, please take care of yourself. You only have to take care of yourself. My disciples are very new. They are very new, but they are sincere. So that's why they would like to worship. So please accept their worship. Please accept their service. So the Krishna, out of pleading by his pure devotee, he is giving the darshan to us. He is appearing. He is accepting our service. That is our, we are not having the qualification, but only qualification is that we are in such organization where such pure devotees are praying. They prayed, and the deities are installed, and we are offering our services to them. So that is really important. That is the Krishna is accepting the mercy. No, he is accepting the service and showering the mercy on us. Or else this qualification, how we can achieve. And we can see that by just sincerely serving the lotus feet of the spiritual master and the previous acharyas, they make us qualify to serve Radha and Krishna. or else what the qualification we are having to serve them. We are still having the material eyes to see that, oh, somebody says that Radha and Krishna are, so they are playing in a Ras Leela, and that is inspiring us to increase our lust. And sometimes we are not having the answers for them, because in some corner of our inner heart, we are also saying that, yeah, whatever you are speaking, it is right. But it is not like that. Radha and Krishna, they are, how we are not having the strength to rectify such arguments or to challenge such arguments, because we are also having somewhat doubt in our heart. We are not that much pure. So the expectation is that whenever we are serving to our spiritual master, our intensity, our prayerful attitude will help us, and by that all the anarthas of including the doubts will go out. So that is only a remedy. So that's why Shushushas Shraddhanascha Vasudevas Katharuchi. So we have to serve such personalities, then we will be having more inclination to read such scriptures and developing such faith. By that we can render more and more services. And that one day we will be having a Sakshat Darshan of the Lord in the deity only. Not clear, the deities are not somewhat stone, but the deities will reciprocate with us, with our service. So that's why we are practicing. We are, at least we should spend half an hour or a maximum 10 minutes in front of deities and try to speak with them, offer them the prayers. It is those who are having the deities in front in their home, they can spend at least 10 minutes just for the prayers. Rest other things you can do it, like you can just offer the services, whether you are offering the bhoga to them, dressing to them, but sit in front of them and offer the prayers. See the beauty of the deities in your home. See the beauty of the deities in your temple, and try to appreciate that with your eyes. And in Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, one day it will happen. With the sincere prayers, what the prayers our previous acharyas has sung, at least we can sing some Vaishnava song in front of the deities, and by that, and contemplating the meaning whole day, the beauty of the Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Vrindavan Chandra will attract you one day. That is our hope. Text 55, 54, it is done or not? Not done.
54 not.
Bhaktyatvananya shaktya, Bhaktyatvananya shakya,
Bhaktya Ananya Shakya
Aham eva vido Arjuna,
Aham Vidho Arjuna
Jnatum drashtam cha tatvena, Pravestvam cha parantapa. Translation.
My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
Only by undivided devotional service one can understand Krishna. So that is the qualification. Or else the people may try different ways to understand Krishna, but they are not trying the undivided. This is undivided is the most important word in this. Sometimes people write down unalloyed, and unalloyed means what? There is no mixture. Alloy means it is a mixture of something. This is alloy dhatu. It's like we are mixing some two different dhatus and making some third or different thing only. But it is not alloyed, it is unalloyed, without mixing anything. That is called as a pure devotional service. This is the direct definition of bhakti, because only by devotional service, which is undivided, can Krishna actually be understood. Ananya Bhakti, undivided devotional service. Text 55. Mat karma kran mat paramo.
Mat karma kran mat paramo.
Mad bhakta sangha varjita.
Madbhakta sangha varjita.
Nirvaire sarva bhuteshu.
Nirvair sarvabhuteshu.
Yassa mama eti pandava.
Yahasa mameti pandava.
Translation.
My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Commentary. Mat karma krun mat paramo. Engaged in doing my work, considering me the supreme, not that one serves Krishna and considers the impersonal as the supreme. That will not reveal the truth. Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, in summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but the original form, two-handed Shyamasundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shyamasundara form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. This also shows that Krishna's devotees will be always victorious. One who engages in Krishna's pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, who thus works for him, makes him the supreme goal of life, and who is friendly to every being, certainly goes to him. Verse 55. This verse is considered the essence of Bhagavad Gita because it gives the method for approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In his purport, Srila Prabhupada summarizes this method as follows. 1. Matkarma Krut. All work should be done only in relationship to Krishna. Second one, Mat Paramaha. One should not desire heavenly pleasure or liberation. His goal should be the association of Krishna in his supreme abode. Third, Mad Bhaktaha. One should fully engage in the 9 process of devotional service without desire for material rewards. Fourth one, Sangha Varjitaha. One should not associate with persons who are against Krishna. Fifth one, Nirvairaha. One should be friendly to all.
This is the connection for the 12th chapter. the first shloka and 55th shloka of the 11th chapter, where I feel in the first shloka only it is who are you and what are your activities. That is mentioned. First or no, it is 14th or 9th shloka in this chapter. It was spoken. So that is the connection for the 12th chapter, and this is also the connection. The Krishna is talking about the devotional service in the 12th chapter. Yeah, please go on reading. Hare Krishna.
You're on mute, Mataji.
Okay.
Padma Mataji.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada concludes this chapter as follows. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time. We read this, I think, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please go on still, but I feel is required.
Okay. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devotes everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but the original form, two-handed Shyamasundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shyamasundara form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. Review. In chapter 7, Krishna described how he is the Supreme Lord and how one can see him. How one can see all the universe as just an expansion of his two different energies. Krishna said that. Then in chapter 9, Krishna more or less said it again, and he explained that everything is coming from him and everything should be seen in relationship to him because he is the Supreme Lord. Then he described in the end of chapter 9 how one should worship him with devotion, and he will protect everyone no matter what their birth is. If they surrender to him, they all will attain Krishna. Hare Krishna. Then in chapter 10, Krishna explained all his opulences and described Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, that everything is emanating from me. Then he explained in the end of the chapter 10, Ekasmena Sthito Jagat, the all universe is being supported, sustained, and pervaded by me. Anyone could repeat all this and just bluff saying that he is God, that everything comes from him, etc., etc. Therefore, after explaining all that confidential knowledge about himself, Krishna displayed the actual universal form in front of witnesses, including Sanjaya and the demigods, to see the criterion that anyone who claims to be God has to have the ability to show the universal form to everyone. Therefore, Krishna displayed the universal form to show that he was the just talking cheap words, but actually he had the potency to back up those words. 1. The three aspects of the universal form. 1. Everything was situated in one place. 2. The radiance, the effulgence. 3. Kala Rupa, the form of time, the horrible aspect of it. This chapter 11 is less important than chapter 10. In this chapter, it shows Ekasmena Sthito Jagat, the form by which the Lord pervades the entire universe. Arjuna had no desire to see it for himself, but for others. He asked Krishna to display it to prove this point that Krishna is not just talking that he is the supreme, but he is actually proving it.
So here we are ending this 11th chapter. So for the 12th chapter, I made some PPTs. So that I would like to show it to you. Devotional Service. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. So the connection we can see. Somebody would like to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Summary section A, verse 12.1 to 12.7. Bhakti over impersonalism. 1 to 2 shlokas. One who fixed his mind on Krishna, worshipping him with great transcendental faith, is considered more perfect than one who worships the unmanifest, inconceivable, impersonal. 3 to 5 shlokas. Worshippers of the impersonal make advancement only with great difficulty. 6 to 7 shlokas. Krishna personally delivers the devotees who are undeviatedly devoted to him.
So the impersonalism is from 1 to 5. This impersonalism is not, please don't take it the Mayavad, it is a Brahmavad. So better we can take it like that. Some aspect, actually, the Krishna is condemning the Mayavadis, but more it is Brahmavadis. So this is where the bhakti is somewhere in all the chapters. The bhakti is spoken in 2.61, 3.30, 4.9, 5.29, 6.14, 15, 6.30, 6.47. This you must have seen when Chaitanya Prasad Prabhu was taking this section. Then we started with the 7th chapter, 7.1. What was the shloka?
Maya Saktamanap.
Maya Saktamana Partha, Yogam Yunjan Madashri, Asam Shayam Samagrama, Mithanya Sastashru. What was the shloka of 7.14?
Daivi hi esha gunamayi, mama maya
Durakriya, Mame Vaya Prapadyante, Maya Metam Taranti. So what was that? Mame Vaya Prapadyante. So here also the devotional aspect is spoken. 8.5 to 8.8 and 8.14. 8.14 it is, I feel it is Satatam Yuktana. What was that? 8.14, how it starts? And 8.5 and 8.8. So it is 8.14.
That is 14.
14, yeah. Yes. And 8.5?
8.5 is
Antakalecha Mameva
Smaran Mukva Kalaivaram.
So Mameva, wherever the Mameva is spoken, it is a devotional service. 8.5, 8. 9.34, very famous shloka, which is the essence of essence. Yeah. Mame Vaya Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarandite. 10.8 to 13.
10.8.
So that is also there. And 11. Yeah. So these are the shlokas actually where some in bits and parts the devotional service was spoken. But Krishna just thought of that, why I should speak the devotional service in bits and parts. So everywhere wherever we go, we just say that from 2nd chapter onwards to the 18th chapter, everywhere some shlokas Krishna was trying to restrict himself in the second chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter. Then from the 6th chapter onwards, he was speaking more over the devotional service. But every part of the Gita, it is the devotional service only. Now then, Krishna thought of that 12th chapter, I will be dedicating whole for the devotional service. Everything will be the devotional there. Yeah, the connection between the 11th and 12th chapter, somebody can read this.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Connection between chapter 11 and 12. In the previous chapter, Krishna concluded 11.55 with the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service unto his personal form as Shyama Sundar. Attachment to Krishna's personal form is the highest spiritual realization. It has been emphasized in the earlier chapters as well, 6.47, 7.1, 8.5, etc. And Arjuna personally experienced this in the previous chapter. Nevertheless, there are people who prefer to meditate on the impersonal Brahman.
Chapter 12, the devotional service. Yeah, please go on reading this.
12.1, Arjuna's inquiry. Who is better, personalist or impersonalist? 12.2 to 12.7, personalist versus impersonalist, supremacy of Krishna Bhakti. 12.8 to 12, progressive stages of Bhakti. 12.13 to 20, qualities that endeavor one to Lord Krishna.
12.1, Arjuna's inquiry, what is better, personal or impersonal worship? Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Evam Satata Yuktaye. Bhaktas Swam Paryupasate. Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam. Tesham Ke Yoga Vittama. Please go on reading. Arjuna inquired.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Who is best, devotee or personalist? Arjuna inquired. Which are considered to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested?
So these are the impersonalists. Somebody is putting the fire actually around us. Somebody is there in a deep water. Please go on this one.
Bhagavad Gita 12.6 to 7. Lord is the swift deliverer of devotees from the ocean of birth and death.
Which are the shlokas of this? Somebody can go and read this. Tesham aham samuddarta murti samsara sagarat. I feel that one is there. Bhavami na chirapartham.
Ye tu sarvani karmani.
And then the next one.
Tesham aham samuddarta.
Samuddarta murti samsara sagarat. Yeah. Bhavami na chirapartham. I don't take time to deliver such people, those who are my devotees. Krishna delivers. So this is a famous picture of the Bhagavatam, where the Gajendra and a man is drowning in the ocean, and Krishna is protecting. So this is a hope giving for us, that we are also drowning in this bhavasamsara, like the Gajendra. So that it is very important to chant and sing the Gajendra's prayers in the morning time. Radha Govind Maharaj always tells his disciples that we should by heart the prayers of the Gajendra. Our condition is more like the condition of the Gajendra. We are trapped by the alligator, the Maya, and we are always thinking that somebody will be helping us. But that person, every other relatives will not be helping us at that time, but one personality will be helping always. So the Lord is a swift deliverer, that it proves clear. We will be seeing that in that section. So this is what is there in the first shloka. This I will be sharing with you. So somebody, if they can be able to see, then they can read it, what is there in the text one, in a summary, in the purport of Prabhupada, whatever the points are mentioned, that it is mentioned in the PPT here.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, Musma Mataji, you can read.
Deepa Mataji, go ahead.
Okay. Devotional service, text 1. Arjuna's question: which is more perfect, engaging in devotional service or worshippers of the impersonal Brahman? Which is better, personalism or impersonalism? Two classes of transcendentalists. Personalist engages himself with all energy in service of Supreme Lord. Impersonalist engages in meditation on impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. What Arjuna thinks of other processes. Worship of the impersonal feature is a waste of time, since one cannot perfectly conceive of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth. The personal form of Krishna is best because all other forms could be understood and no disturbance to love for Krishna. Conclusion of every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, attached to personal form of Lord. Second chapter, living entity is spiritual spark, absolute truth is spiritual whole. Sixth chapter, 6.47, says Bhakti Yoga is the best of all yogis. Seventh chapter, living entity is part and parcel of the whole, recommends one to transfer his full attention to the whole. Eighth chapter, anyone who thinks of Krishna at the time of death at once goes to the spiritual sky, to the abode of Krishna. Only way to have association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is through devotional service. So
every chapter, whatever we have seen, the last ones, 3.30, 2.61, 3.30. So like that, every chapter is having some personal touch. So the personal aspect of the Lord is better than the impersonal aspect. So that Arjuna was knowing, but he would like to have the reconfirmation with the Lord. Just a minute. Please go on, ready.
Sorry, translation 12.1. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? Baldev Bhushan translation, Arjuna said, who are the best knowers of yoga? Those devotees who worship you, or just as just described, were desire to constantly associate with you, or those who first worship the Atma? Srila Prabhupada, Krishna has explained about the personal, the impersonal, and the universal, and has described all kinds of devotees and yogis. Srila Prabhupada, transcendentalist, personalist, engages himself with all energy in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Impersonalist also engages himself not directly but in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested.
So here the comparison between the Brahmavadis and the Bhaktas has been mentioned. And Arjuna wanted to know about what exactly is better. Yeah, please go
Bhakti
on.
Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, highest among all, most direct, easiest means for association with the Godhead. Conclusion of every chapter signifies Krishna's being a person. Second chapter, living entity, spiritual spark, absolute truth, spiritual whole. Seventh chapter, living entity, part and parcel of supreme whole, part meant to serve the whole. Eighth chapter, thinking of Krishna at the end of life, transfer to Krishna's abode. Sixth chapter end, of all yogis, one thinking of Krishna within himself is the most perfect. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Bhagavad Gita chapter 12 verse 8. Srila Prabhupada, impersonalist position, not attached to personal form of Krishna, so firmly detached that even in commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, they want to distract people from Krishna and transfer all devotion to Brahma Jyoti. Prefer to meditate on impersonal form, which is beyond the reach of senses and unmanifest. 12th chapter, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, superiority of all types of devotees to the Gyanis is described. Among the devotees, those who are endowed with wonderful qualities like lack of hatred are praised. Baldev Vidya Bhushan, the Lord says that among all processes, pure bhakti, having the greatest power, enables one to quickly attain the Lord.
Yeah. So this is only the question is been asked, but Prabhupada is mentioning in this purport that which is better. Before Krishna speaks, Prabhupada is speaking in the purport only.
Srila Prabhupada, Arjuna's intention behind the question. He is attached to the personal form of Krishna. He wishes to make his position secure. Meditation on impersonal form problematic both in material as well as spiritual world. One cannot perfectly conceive impersonal form. Arjuna is asking as if, what is the use of such a waste of time? He experienced in the 11th chapter being attached to personal form is the best. Why? He could understand all other forms at the same time. There was no disturbance in his love for Krishna.
Yeah, so being attached to the personal form, he just would like to have the reconfirmation with the Lord. Whatever I am doing, I am attached with you. Is it all right? Am I in the right position? Because I am getting more attached with your 200 form. It is not by the Vishwarupa or impersonal or the Brahmajyoti. I don't like to see that. I just would like to attach with your personal form. Whether I am attached with you, it is all right. So he would like to have the reconfirmation with the Lord.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, Arjuna heard the great superiority of bhakti at the beginning of the topic of bhakti in Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Yoginam api sarvesham. Arjuna, desiring to hear about the superiority of bhakti, even if it is in summary, asks a question. The devotees worship you as Shyamasundara, Karma Krin Mat Parama. Bhagavad Gita 11.55. SS is Sridhar Swami.
Yeah, Sridhar Swami.
Superiority of Bhakta, given in verses like Bhagavad Gita 11.55, Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kaunteya Pratijanihi, etc. Other worship the Brahman, Akshara, with no qualities. Avyakta means Nirvishesha. Superiority of one devoted to knowledge, given in verses like Bhagavad Gita 7.17, Tesham Jnani Nitya Yuktam Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. Bhagavad Gita 4.36, Sarvam Jnana Plave Naiva Vrujinam Santarishyasi.
So Arjuna was asking because Krishna spoke such things. Na? It was 7.17 and 9 and 4.36. He spoke about the Jnani. Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. That personality is very special. And then in such shlokas like 11.55 and 9.31 and many others, Arjuna heard the glories of the devotion. So that making him somewhat confused. What is special? So that's why he is asking. As per the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur path, he is asking that because Krishna apparently confused Arjuna. As per the Srila Prabhupada's purport, Arjuna would like to have the reconfirmation. That's why he is asking the question.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, somebody else would like to read this.
I will read, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Among these two types of persons who know yoga, who are the best knower of yoga, yoga vittamaha, who know the best process for attaining you, or do they not know the process for attaining you? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in a comparison involving two items, usually the form yoga vittama, which of the two types know yoga better, would be used. The word yoga vittama should be understood to suggest that among the better of the two types of knowers of yoga, yoga vittara, who are the best knowers of yoga, yoga vittama.
So there are the two people, there is a comparison. One is that the one person is saying that the formless Brahman, and another is saying that form, which is having the form, that Brahman. So who is knowing you better in the yoga process? So that is like the query, that who is better? People are saying this. You are also saying that jnani ek jnani vishishyate, and you are saying that in a 11.55. So I would like to know from you only, which is better? Who is knowing you better? Who is knowing the yoga process better? So the Krishna is answering.
Can I read, Prabhu?
12.2 Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Uvacha
Maya Veshamano Yemam
Maya
Yemam
Nitya Yukta Upasate
Nitya
Upasate
Shraddhaya Parayopetas
Shraddhaya
Parayopetas
Te me Yuktatama Mata.
Te
Mata.
Please read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect.
So Krishna is speaking that out of these two, as per me, that the personality, they are basically the devotee is doing a shringar of the Lord. So that is a personal way of the service. So that's why out of 5 angas, the deity worship is also a very important anga. One cannot say that it is for the neophyte. It is for the advanced devotee also. The other Pandit was doing a devotional service by worshipping the Tota Gopinath. He was always doing a shringar and offering the bhoga, even at an old age. Every Goswami is the six Goswamis were having the personal deities. How the Radharaman Dev manifested to the Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So that is the deities. Initially, it was having the Shaligram Shila, but he developed a desire that I also would like to have the deity where I can do a shringar for that deities. So at night only the Shaligram transferred to the Radha Raman Dev. So it is a personal service where the Krishna is reciprocating with the devotees feeling, and Pujari is doing a shringar. It has been said that if you would like to know the mood of the Lord, you have to understand the Pujari's mind. Sometimes it is like so that's why the Pujaris they are a very close associates of the Lord. They are always doing Shringar of the Lord. In a Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Kanchi Purna was always talking with the Lord, with the Varadraj Swami. So that is the connection. It is a personal aspect with the Lord, talking with the Lord, doing a Shringar with the Lord. Hare Krishna. So that is very important. And here the Lord is saying that the person who is engaged in my personal form and who fixes mind on my personal form. So that's why every day we should worship the deities. We should go in front of them and ask the service. We should develop a habit to talk with them. Whatever it is, in one of the bhajan of very great Maharashtrian saint, Tukaram Maharaj, the meaning is that whenever I go and meet Lord Vithala in Pandharpur, the Tukaram Maharaj says that I will be sharing my grief and happiness with him, sorrows and happiness with him. I will talk my the sorrows and express my gratitude and express my happiness towards him. Sukha and Dukha, I will talk in front of my Lord. Why should I talk the Sukha and Dukha with any other personality? So that way it is like we are developing a very closeness with the Lord. So everyone should develop such thing at the night, or whenever we are taking a Shringara Darshan, we should be more prayerful, not to talk with any other person, but at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we can talk with the Lord. It is that personality is standing for us, giving us the darshan, and we are talking to somebody else. Every other person we can talk after some time, but we can have some dedicated time to talk with the Lord. So that habit one should develop. Whatever the prayers you are, every day we can at least mug up one prayer, by heart it, understand the meaning of that, and speak in front of the Lord. That is very important for the devotional service. And how much joy you will be getting, the Krishna will be giving the nourishment in the heart. Text 2. Somebody can read this.
Hare Krishna. Devotional Service Text 2. Lord Krishna opinion. Those engaged in devotional service are most perfect. Why most perfect? Fix their minds on my personal form, worship me with great and transcendental faith, always engaged in worshipping me. Actions in Krishna consciousness. KC activities are not material because
Krishna conscious activities, sorry.
Krishna conscious activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. A pure devotee is in full samadhi because of his constant engagement. Example, chant, hears, cooks, shops, washes, temple or dishes, etc. Do not waste a single moment.
So that is actually actions in Krishna consciousness. And then what was the title of the fourth or fifth chapter? What was it, the title of the fourth chapter, or the Karma Yoga in action? The first one was the Karma Yoga, and then the Karma Yoga in action. So now here we can give another title of this chapter 12 as actions in Krishna consciousness. Instead of devotional service, if you would like to give another title, then it is actions in Krishna consciousness. So this is a suiting title for that. Yeah, please go on reading this one.
Translation 12.2. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect." Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur translation. The Lord said, "I consider those who worship me, desiring to associate with me constantly, absorbing their minds in me, endowed with faith beyond the gunas, paraya shraddhaya, to be the best knowers of yoga." Baldev Vidyabhushan translation. The Lord said, "I consider those who absorb their minds in me, the son of Devaki having the complexion of a blue lotus as well as other qualities, who desire to associate with me constantly, and who with firm faith worship me, paraya shraddhaya, to be the quickest attainers of me."
Yeah. So the paraya shraddhaya, endowed with the faith beyond the gunas. I am actually beyond the gunas, and they are having the faith that I am beyond the gunas. So that is the paraya shraddhaya, that I am not bound with the gunas, and they are having that confirmed faith that I am a gunadhisha. I'm just like, no, I'm not having the gunatita, I'm the gunadhisha, I'm Ishwara. Yeah, who is the best?
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
who is
Please
the
go on.
best? Srila Prabhupada. Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect in yoga. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, my devotees are the best. Baldev Vidyabhushan, my devotees are the most qualified. They have the quickest method for attaining me. 2. Srila Prabhupada. Samadhi of a devotee, constant engagement, everything done for Krishna, so no material activities. A pure devotee is constantly engaged. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads books about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi.
So this is the quality. Samadhi means this is avyartha kalatvam, is not wasting a single moment. Whatever he is doing is consciously and constantly doing for the pleasure of the Lord. So that is a samadhi. Samadhi is the last stage of the Ashtanga yoga. So, but here the devotees achieves that quite early. That is like it is the conscious endeavor to serve and please the Lord. That makes a devotional service easy. It's like the devotional service is simple and it appears very easy. In initial days of the Krishna consciousness, the Krishna gives the glimpse of the pure devotional service to that sadhaka. So whenever the sadhaka comes new in his con, and he finds everything appealing, and everything he is doing or trying to do in enthusiastic way. And that particular time, if you would like to see and if you would like to remember your early days in Krishna consciousness, whenever you first time or second time or third time, 2-3 times you are just going to the temple and trying to meet the devotees, and one particular devotee is counseling you, and whatever he's speaking, you are ready to follow that as it is. Yes, Prabhuji, tomorrow morning you are calling me for the Mangalarti, tomorrow I will be coming. So that is the Krishna, and by coming to the Mangalarti, you feel everything is surcharged with the devotional atmosphere. And you, whatever, while you are very cautious to step inside the devotees arena, when the devotees are chanting, encircling the Tulsi Maharani, and they are chanting, and you are not knowing what to do, and by mistake you are touching the chatai, and you feel that, oh, I feel it was the devotees' hands or legs. So everything you are paying the respect and obeisances. That was the reverence. That was a mood, and that was the devotion the Krishna is making you to experience. And that time, it was no offenses towards the devotees. There were no ugly offenses towards anybody, and your heart is really pumping with the enthusiasm to serve, and that the bliss is not been considered with the bliss what we are experiencing right now. In everyone's life, this things comes whenever we come as a new fresh devotee in a Krishna conscious arena. That what we experience, we are missing right now. So that is the like the constant engage. That time it was, everything was in samadhi, where we were just doing it and we were absorbed. I just remember that my first seva in 1998 or 1999, when I went after 6 months, my senior devotee first time called me into the temple, and he offered me that whether you would like to stay in a temple overnight, and next day is the Janmashtami, I would like to give you some seva. I was not knowing what exactly the seva will be, and I was not clearly aware how to do the seva. But the coconut breaking seva was there for me and my friend, and we were so absorbed that every person, every well-wisher or every new person who was offering the coconut to the Lord, and we were having the seva to break that coconut and give one part of that coconut, broken coconut, to that well-wisher or the devotee, and one part we were keeping it for the temple. And it was so absorbing from the morning 8 o'clock to the night 9:30, 10 o'clock, we were doing it. And our senior devotee asked that whether you are tired. We just thought that what is the time right now? It's at 10 o'clock in the night. Only 2 hours are there to break your fast. I just remember that this was the samadhi day for me. That morning 8 to night 10 o'clock, I was doing first time I was doing a direct service to the Lord. What was been offered to the Lord, I was keeping as a prasadam, and half of that I was giving it to the donor or the well-wisher who was offering it. So that always constantly thinking is right now, it is not there for us, but our initial days we might have experienced that. So initial 6 months or one year, where we were very much new in ISKCON, every devotee there actually was senior to us. We were offering the respect whenever a devotee was in front of us. We were bending down and offering our Panchanga Namaskar, and asking them that please bless us. That was the samadhi. Wherever we were seeing the devotee passing, we were glorifying their qualities. This particular devotee, I know that he is a good singer and he sings that particular bhajan nicely. So that was the glimpse of the samadhi the Krishna gave us. If you continue like this, then you will be experiencing this one. Just go on continuing without doing any offenses towards the Vaishnavas, the deities, Dham Aparad, Nam Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad, and many others. If we are careful about that, then the samadhi experience will be there for us. So at least now we are just trying to have some service. And by that service, we are trying to achieve samadhi. But the service is there, but the consciousness is some extent it is missing. At least in my case, I am just saying that services are there, but the consciousness, the conscious endeavor to please the Lord and the devotees is missing. But still, we have to continue that. We have to continue and put our extra endeavors to pray in front of the Lord. Oh Lord, one day I would like to have that aspect which I experienced in my early days of Krishna consciousness. That samadhi, I would like to have it. So that samadhi will happen whenever we are praying to such personalities, Shad Goswamis of the Vrindavan. So that's why this photo is there, the samadhi, where this personalities were in samadhi. Always, He Radhe Vraj Devi Ke Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Puta. They were always trying to search the Lord, and in their deep meditation, and they were crying in ecstasy. Ghoshantayavati Sarvato Vrajapure, Khede Mahavivhalo. That was in Vivhalta. They were crying in ecstasy and trying to search the Lord. Oh, where are you now? So that's why in the appearance days and the disappearance days of the Vaishnava Acharyas, we have to have that attitude. One day I can also be on your footsteps following. And one day I can achieve what was there in you. So the 6 Goswamis, their appearance, disappearance days, the Vaishnava Acharyas' appearance and disappearance days, that we should read about them and beg to them, what were your consciousness, please award us that. Please make us qualify for that. So that is a samadhi. So here it is a samadhi for such personalities. They are always doing constantly. We are also trying to be constantly engaged, but only thing is that conscious endeavor, the consciousness has to be put up in that proper way. So that's why the devotional service is not only activity, it is with the consciousness. So that's why our devotional service is Krishna consciousness. Krishna activity is not. That is, Krishna activities are there. Everyone can do it. But where we can borrow over the consciousness, we cannot borrow the consciousness. We can show off the activities, but we cannot show off the consciousness. We can show off our japa, 16 rounds, but we cannot cheat Lord that it was very good japa. 16 rounds with full attention and constant, and the concentration and the consciousness was full high. We cannot say that I was just doing 16 rounds, Prabhu. It was so perfect. 16 rounds without sleeping. Without sleeping, it may happen. But where was my consciousness? So that's why we should always have that mood of begging that, oh Krishna, oh the devotees of the Lord, please shower your mercy upon this conditioned soul. Yeah, please go on reading. Hare Krishna. Who is reading?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please.
Can I read? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Praya Shraddha, faith beyond the modes. Sattvika, Adhyatmika Shraddha.
Shraddha, Karma Shraddha,
Karma Shraddha,
Rajasi, Tamasi, Adhrame, Ye Shraddha, Mat Sevayam tu Nirguna.
Faith. A faith directed towards spiritual life is in the mode of goodness. Faith rooted in fruitive work is in the mode of passion. Faith residing in irregular activities is in the mode of ignorance. But faith in my devotional service is purely transcendental. Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, 25th chapter, verse 27. B. From this, it should be inferred that inferior to these Ananya Bhaktas are those having bhakti mixed with jnana, karma, or other processes, who are called Yukta Vairagya. Yoga Vitara. Bhakti refers to jnana. Among these types of bhakti, Ananya Bhakta is the best. Ananya Bhakti is the best.
Bhakti is greater than the jnana. Among these types of bhakti, Ananya Bhakti is the best. So in the bhakti also, the Ananya Bhakti is the best one. Okay, we can take this. Okay, this one last slide. Then the next shloka we can take next time. Please go on reading.
Link, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, those who worship my impersonal Swarupa, known as Brahman, are inferior because their state of suffering. These the Lord state in 2 verses. Baldev Vidyabhushan says, those who do not worship me while attempting realization of their Atma will also attain me, but with great suffering and after a long time. They are inferior to the devotees. This is explained in 3 verses.
This is explained in 3 verses.
3 verses. Sridhar Swami are not the other than superior. This is being answered in 2 verses.
Yes. So these 3 verses, it is these 3 verses, 3, 4, and 5. And 3rd and 4th, whatever the Sridhar Swami is saying. So this we will be taking next time on Monday. Hare Krishna. Shil Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lilananda Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lilananda Pranam.